Hey all! So here's the Foldsmobile, hidden under a tarp because my neighbors don't need to look at it, but we're going to unearth it today, and we're going to dig all of the stuff out of it, see what kind of treasures and trash are in there, go over the whole car, and talk about all of my plans for parting it out and whatnot, and then we'll sort of see where we are from there. Alright, got the car cleaned out, and there's actually less in it than I was expecting, which is kind of a bummer because it's less stuff that I can potentially recoup on. But let's get started here. This is all just bins of hardware that I haven't decided if they're completely trash or not. I have no idea what this is, but I've got some door handles, one lock cylinder. I think I saw another one somewhere, but I've lost track of it now. Inside garnish moldings of various kinds, door handles, window cranks. I've got one 88, oh, the other one's over there. I've got two 88 fender things. These are some dash knobs. This is the knob for the seat. Some rear view mirrors, only one of which I think is for this car. Visors, a rear radio grille, which are uncommon, but that one's terrible. Some armrests. I think I have at least one other piece of the chrome taillight variety. None of these are great, but I think they might be a little nicer than what I have between them. Front turn signals. This is good because I need at least one of these and one of these, I think. Actual original T3 headlight. That might still be worth something if it still works. But headlight bucket. I have the other headlight bucket. I'll show you that in a minute, but it's not with this lot. I've got this mystery side view mirror, but kind of cool looking. It's not going to suit what I want to do with my olds, but it's a really neat looking mirror. Somebody else will probably want it. These are trash. This is a bunch of parts not for this car. This almost certainly goes with the console I'll show you in a minute, but these all appear to be off of a Starfire. The console that I'm talking about, he said, was out of a 62 Starfire, so these are probably from the same 62 Starfire. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what else I got. Side trim, of which I'm pretty sure none of this is usable for me, because I think this is all sedan specific, which is a bummer because I need the Foldsmobile version of this one, or sorry, the hardtop version of this one, because mine is all mooshed right here. So that's a bummer. Inside window garnish moldings, grill pieces, some are good, some are bad. One rear vent window, more garnish moldings. These are the outside front and rear window moldings. That's all flat out trash. That's all just junk metal. Now that I've got it mostly cleared out, I can show you the inside. I have the seat, the front seat. It came with that, but it's in terrible condition. But you can kind of see, again, utter butchery hack work. He never cut out the rear. Like, he cut the roof off of it, and that's all he ever did to the Oldsmobile shell. This is all still in place. The rear fender opening is still in place. The only window knob still on the car is this one on the one of the rear doors. And I wonder, now it's got me curious, is the glass still in there? I think the glass no, that's the bottom of it. Never mind. I'm wrong. That's the bottom. I was going to say, I thought he left the glass, and that would have been hysterical. But he left all the latches and everything in place. That's quality work right there. This is, again, super high quality work. I don't even know what this piece is off of, but it's got like a bit of, it's galvanized, so it shouldn't have been welding on it. It's got a piece of trim on it. It's clearly from something else, and like, that's just booger welded to the top of the fender. That's supposed to be the structural support for the whole roof. So that's amazing. Same here. This is, I move these screws, just booger welded to the fender lip, or the, not the fender lip, the gasket lip. This is the bottom of the trunk lid, which may or may not still have its latch in it. It's hard to tell, but with a little piece booger welded in to keep that edge strong. Yeah, it's just like this all around. He appears to have cut the roof off and then immediately welded it. These are the side panels from the same truck. Looks like he sliced the entire roof off of it and then welded it right back in the same place, which means now there's this huge gap with a couple booger welds where it was a solid panel. All of this is baffling. Like, some of it's just a bad job, but a lot of it's just super weird. The rear section, I think he had to shorten it, the roof, which makes sense, but why he didn't just cut the cap off the back and slide it back and then tweak that, I don't know, because he's got like parts of stuff. This looks like it was part of the original header, but then he's completely covered it in another piece of metal, especially on the outside. That corner is just, I don't even know what the hell's going on there. Like, more booger welding here, barely holding on. He apparently cut too much and had to put a slice back in here. You can see all of the little wires from him MIG welding. I'm going to play you the song of Bad Whip. This is the song of the bad welder. But yeah, that's all just poke. I mean, this happens. I have this happen when I'm welding too, but just the sheer quantity of it is truly astonishing. The front passenger compartment is largely intact. The dashboard has clearly been spray painted black at some point, but otherwise looks like it's in good condition, which is nice. I have a dash that's not bad, but it has some surface rust, and it has a dash pad on it, which are glued on. Like, there's no special screw holes for it or anything, but it's glued on in a way that may be a hard thing to take off. So what I'm going to do with this, I think, is take this dash out and refurb and paint this dash as a separate project, so that when I get to the stage in my Oldsmobile, I can just take that dash and I can just put it in, instead of pulling that dash and then having the dash out for an extended period of time while I do all that work. This dash also has, this dash has the courtesy lights under here that mine does not. That's neat. This is the, oh, it has the switch for the courtesy lights. I think I'm gonna have to put a new like the switch itself is terrible, but it has a little thing. It's been painted black, but I can fix that. Yeah, it looks like a lot of this got oversprayed. What I'll end up doing is using the best of the dash chrome and whatnot between the two cars. I now have a spare steering column I can do the same thing with. I can pull the steering column out and paint it, and then I'll have that ready to drop in. I'll be brutally honest with you, this may have been a mistake to buy. I'm probably going to lose money on it, but after the Magnum, I'm not going to lose that much. I'm not going to lose as much money on this as I lost on the Magnum, so whatever. But I'm actually, the dash is nice. This is nice. I'm actually happy to have a spare dash. I was thinking about actually buying a dash off someone else recently, so that's nice. Having the steering column is nice. That all means I can prep all of that in my own time and make it look really good. I wish that one of the like hopes I was going to find in here was going to be the radio block-off plate for a car without a radio. Though this car seems to have been optioned high enough, like that's a speaker, so it wouldn't have had the block-off plate, but it also doesn't have the radio either. There's a lot of random stuff missing. The clock is missing, things like that. So what's happening with the Foldsmobile? Well, like I said, I'm taking the dash out of it, I'm taking the front bumper, I'm taking some other pieces of chrome, and the rest of it is getting sold however I can. If somebody wants to buy pieces, whatever. Like, whether the front doors are in seem like they're in good shape. The fenders are okay. They need the same rust work in the bottom that my fenders needed. The hood is not great. It looks like it's been badly repaired at the front at some point, and it's got like sheet metal screws in the back. I don't understand at all. This windshield is probably a better than none kind of situation, but it's not great. The door glass in the front is okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bits and pieces. It's just a matter of I can find somebody who wants them badly enough. And then what's left is probably going to go to scrap. Every time I post pictures of this somewhere, somebody desperately wants to buy it. But I think it's a case of they desperately want to buy it because they can't see how bad it is up close. It looks interesting, and it probably doesn't look that bad from a distance, but up close, all of the work is really terrible. So it's the kind of thing I would only sell to somebody if, like, they came and looked at it, or they got a very thorough video tour so they knew exactly what they were getting themselves into, because I'm pretty sure that 90% of the work in the back needs to just be redone, like cut the welds, pull the panels off, re-weld them, or make new panels instead of what's there, that kind of thing. So yeah, I need to now clean up all of that trim. I want to label it, put it all away in a bin where I know what's what and where it is, so I can find it later. It's probably, that bin is probably going to get loaded back in here just for space saving. All that scrap metal is just going to get thrown in the back there, so that when it goes to scrap, that can all just be in there. And then, yeah, I'm not going to pull the dash today, I don't think, because I don't have a place for it yet. Same with the bumper and whatnot. Right now it's easier to just leave them on the car and save myself the space. But yeah, this is entertaining if nothing else. You saw at the beginning of the video me pulling the car cover off. That's so that my neighbors don't have to look at this thing, because God, it's ugly. It has a tire that keeps going flat, so I'm going to probably prop some wood under that corner, so when the tire goes flat the car doesn't sag, so it continues to look as little terrible as possible. I actually want this out of here fairly quickly. I want to recover what I want from it and get it the hell out of my life really quickly, because otherwise I feel like it'll just end up sitting here. Right now it's blocking my Foldsmobile into the garage, which means that as the weather gets warmer, I can't pull that out and work on it in the sun, because this will be in the way. So that'll limit my ability to work on that car. Let's go through right now, if nobody buys anything and this thing just goes to scrap, what I'm keeping, what I want from this car, what will make me feel like I didn't get, like I got more or less my money's worth. The big ones are the dashboard. I'm keeping this entire dashboard. I'm probably keeping I'm almost certainly keeping the steering column, so that I have this dashboard to restore and make look nice, to swap in for my dashboard, just because that lets me work on this one independent of the car. The car doesn't have to be that torn apart. This dash also has the courtesy lights, which I think are cool. On the outside of the car, I want the front bumper. The main thing is my front bumper is mashed up on the left side. So I was hoping to use this entire bumper, but upon closer inspection, it unfortunately has rot on the right side, and the very center of it's kind of dented up. See there? So what I'm going to do is pull the top off, because that's a separate piece, and behind this bumperette I'm going to slice the bumper and keep this left side. And then what I'll do is on my bumper I will do the same thing. I'll cut it, so I'll use that side of my bumper, this side of the new bumper, weld them together behind where the bumperette is. No matter what I do with bumpers, they're going to need to be chromed or have some sort of chrome effect paint or wrap or something on them, because they're both all wrecked, and finding a good bumper is impossible. I don't need all of the internals. None of that is getting reused on mine, so that's all stuff that's going to go away. I have the chrome surrounds for these that are much nicer than mine that I'm going to use. I have the hood ornament for here that I'm going to use that's much nicer than mine. When I get into the stage of slicing it up, if I don't get a buyer, I'm going to, this one has the same rot along here that mine does, but what I'm going to do is basically take a section here out, because it'll have the right curve already that I can use to make a patch for mine for here, because that'll save me a bunch of time and energy trying to match this curve if I just have a patch already. My doors, my rear doors, are both rotten at the bottom to varying degrees. My passenger door is way, way worse than this. This is a sedan door, mine's a hardtop, so I don't think there's a one-to-one shape thing here. I think the shape is different, but it's close enough that I can use like the corners or something. The other thing is I want to round this rear corner on both of my rear doors, and it would be very convenient to already have rounded corners. So this has got some rust in it. This doesn't appear to. So if nobody buys these front doors, I'm taking this entire corner section out, because that'll let me just weld in the perfect radius that matches all the other radiuses on the car. Save me a ton of body work trying to make that radius, and then I just have to make the filler piece in the body that matches it, and that'll be a much easier job. Yeah, this, I don't think this wheel well's in good shape, but what I'm probably going to also do is take a chunk here, assuming it's in good shape, because my car has been hit here and this whole edge is smashed in. So it's one of those things I'm going to have a body person, like a professional body person, look at it, and if they're confident they can fix it well, then I won't need that piece. But if they're not confident they can fix it well, I'll have a piece with all the right shapes that can be cut out and welded in to fix that destroyed lip. That's more of a like built-in suspenders kind of save thing. I'm hopefully gonna save at least one of the wheels off of it, because I have one that the lug holes are all destroyed on that's currently my spare, but I'd like one that's in better shape. So I may, depending on the exact circumstances of this being how it's being towed away, I'm probably going to try and save at least one, maybe two of the wheels as spares. Among all these bits and pieces, I'm going to hang on to door handles and stuff in case they're useful, like the inner ones. Some of those might be nicer than mine. Those big 88 emblems I don't have. I'm not sure I'm going to put them on the car, but I'd like to have a set, so I'm going to hang on to those. The front turn signal assemblies, I need those, parts of those. Those I'm keeping. I'm going to keep the tail lights probably, because between them those will be useful. Oh, there's something else on the body I'll show you in a second. The front headlight assemblies I'm going to keep for now. I don't think I'm going to need them, but they'll be handy to have in case I need them. None of this I need. That's all stuff that can go away, except maybe some of the window moldings, but I think those I'm okay on. The other thing I remember now that I need on the body, two things over here. One, I'm removing my gas filler door here on my car, so I may decide to cut out a chunk, just a little back of it, to use as the patch on mine. It's going to be the exact same gauge of metal, but that's not super important. I don't know if I'm going to bother with that. The thing I am going to do is this end piece here. There's nothing wrong with the one on my car, and this one's actually in really bad shape. It's been chewed up and stuff. But what I want it for is I want to design a swing out light so that I can put my gas filler neck hiding behind it. But I've been hesitant to cut up my car, because if I screw it up, then I need to find that piece for my car. So what I'm going to do is take this chunk and basically mount it on a little stand so I can cut it up, figure out how to do it properly, and then transfer that knowledge, or even possibly that piece, to my car. So there we are. That's the introduction to the Foldsmobile parts car and my plans for it. Got some work ahead of me. Talk to you later. Bye.